Nico Gonzalez was battling here. Julian Alvarez was stopping crosses, defending headers, blocking the run of Dan Burns for him to not go in the air. They are battling. And those guys, as I said, won 3 major tournaments in a row. They can go 4. I don't know what they put in their water, but I would like some of it.
Zlatan, let's put a bow on England. What will you take away? How will you remember these lovely scenes here of Lionel Messi? But how will you remember that man and his team?
He had a difficult game today. They tried to provocate him. They played him dirty, and he kept cool. To be honest, he kept cool. He acted as a leader. When it comes to the team, we asked ourselves in the beginning of the tournament, how good is the team? What are they able to do? This is the first team they played that is a proper team, with all the respect with Norway and the other guys, the other teams they played. This was a real game to show who you are, what you're able to do. And unfortunately they lost today. They have another game to play against France. I think it's going to be a good game for them also. They have a possibility to take the 3rd spot. So I mean, you're not first, you're not second, but you can become 3rd or the 4th team in the world. So I have to give them credit for what they did so far. Like I said, another game. But today was a test against a proper team. And listen, we're talking about Argentina, the current world champion. Alexi, over to you.
Well, Harry, it's the most heartbreaking way for your tournament to end. I know it's going to be incredibly raw, but what are your immediate thoughts?
Yeah, just gutted for the boys, gutted for everyone, the team, the staff, the fans. Yeah, we played a good game for the large majority of it. Once we went 1-0 up, we seemed to just try and hold on, which, you know, at this level is not enough. So just gutted because we've worked so hard to be here, and the lads are given every last bit of running, sweat, blood, tears, whatever it is. So to fall short like we did today is just gutted.
Why was it so hard to get any momentum after the goal, do you think?
Yeah, we struggled to get pressure on the ball. I thought, especially first half and start of the second half, we pressed them well. We put them under loads of pressure, especially high up the pitch, which then allowed us to win balls, control the game a little bit better. After the goal, whether it's them putting more men forward or us just not being able to match them man for man, it just was wave after wave, and we were trying to hold on. Lads were putting blocks in, but in the end, it was just it wasn't enough.
Did it feel at the end that after the exertion you put in the last 2 games, perhaps it was almost one ask too far to find another response?
The boys always are ready for any moment in the game, and when we went ahead, the messaging was to go again and get another goal, and and then obviously once they scored their 2 goals, it was to try and find something, but we couldn't quite get the momentum back in the game.
You're having to do this interview down the Argentina end of the pitch as well, which makes it even more difficult. But what can England learn from this? What can you take forward?
Yeah, we had a lot of good moments in this tournament. A lot of good games. Another semi-final. We talk about knocking on the door. We're close. We just need to find that missing piece in the final stage of the tournament. You know, these tournaments take it out of you so much. Effort and pressure and mentality, and we've shown a lot of that throughout the whole 6-7 weeks we've been together. But yeah, we're just missing that final piece.
So it's Argentina then who make the World Cup final. And as we looked at the story of that day, Zlatan, and especially the Enzo Fernandez goal there, just 4 minutes before the end of the game. England were 4 minutes from the World Cup final plus stoppage time. But that goal from Enzo Fernandez felt like the most coming goal of all time. It felt like everyone knew it was coming. When you're playing in that game as an Argentina player, do you also know it's coming?
But you feel it. They put pressure on them, just like the gentleman here said. The music was coming and it got louder. They got a lot of opportunities. They hit the post. They had other opportunities after that also. Then you got to see here the shot from Enzo Fernandez. By the way, what a game he did also, Fernandez. Magic also. Look at this shot. Not a power shot, but precision. Precision, a little knuckleball there, or what do you say, Thierry?
Whatever it is, it's beautiful, and the ball went in. That's the most important. They got done on the corner.
And this makes England even more in deeper water. How do you say? Like
exactly that.
Oxygen finish. But before that, they were too defensive. Listen, we can say about Argentina, they're amazing. Messi is amazing. But England, they were too defensive.
And I'm interested, Thierry, from an England player's point of view, when you are then going deeper and deeper and your manager is essentially sending that message on, I assume, you tell us, do you know you're doing it? Are you trying to step up? Or what happens in the psyche of a player?
First and foremost, I'm going to have to bring you back to when you're on the bench as a coach. Things go so quickly. We sit here, we're calm. We're having a sandwich, we're having a coffee, and we're like, oh, I would have done this, I would have done that. Now we need to analyze it.
Thierry, explain with Rashford what happened.
We need to analyze it. Rashford was supposed to come on just before Gordon scores. Then Gordon scores, then suddenly 5 minutes after he goes into a back five. And then when you go into a back five early, you lose Rich James. Then you lose Rich James. What do you go about it? Then Spence changes. Then you put O'Reilly. But then O'Reilly now is playing on the wing. What are you doing? Boom, they score. Where do you go from that 5-3-2? You know, and then boom, they score again. And then you try to put guys towards the end. It's not easy. I will repeat it again. They went into a back five too early. But I also will tell you something. When you're on that bench and you start to think and you look at the clock, you're like, oh, it's nearly the end. And sometimes you look again and you're like, 20 minutes has passed. I can assure you that it's not that easy. But still, he went into a back five too early. You don't play that team too low, too early like that.
That is so interesting because, of course, for fans it goes so slowly, but for the coaches it goes so fast. Zlatan, you were going to say?
That's why I said that Thierry explained with the situation with Rashford. That's the dynamics. What was supposed to happen and what happened. He was meant to go for Rashford to come in and push for the counter-attacks, and then suddenly you score a goal in that moment. You go in a back five. They had in total 6 defenders totally at a certain point, the England team. But this is the feeling you have as a coach. This time it didn't go his way. It went in Scaloni's way when he pushed all the offensive players. He played the cards right for Tuchel. He didn't play the cards right, but if Tuchel would have win the game, we would have said, whoa, what a genius. Like, he went on the defensive part. Argentina couldn't put a hole on them. And then, if you look at Argentina, everything happened in the end. In the end, like the last minutes. Not how you start, how you end, yeah.
You've always said it, Lex.
Well, I mean, now we're taking a little time away. And again, if I put myself in an England's fan shoes, and Tuchel at times, there are games where you say, look, we just got beaten by a better team. We weren't in it. This is not one of those games. This game will and should be dissected in terms of the decisions that were made. To Thierry's point, it's easy from up here to do that. But this was one that was in the palm of their hand for, at times during the game, and certainly when they got that goal. We have seen in this tournament where Tuchel has done the same thing and tried to ride out and done it very well in terms of managing the time and managing the game. It didn't happen in this one. Thomas Tuchel will be the first to tell you that it is very, very fine margins when you get to this point in terms of the separation of teams and what separates winning and losing. And so I think it's going to be fair in this postmortem to look at what happened and the decisions that were made, and were they right? Always going to be relative to what the final score is, but again, it was in the palm of their hand, and it was taken out. Yes, by a wonderful team, and yes, by one of the greatest of all time. But you wonder, even this England team, did they have the wherewithal on the bench, both in terms of the players and in terms of Thomas Tuchel, to see this out? I think they would all say yes, but this is why we ultimately play the games.
This was a different loss from yesterday. France, they lost yesterday, but you could say like they didn't have a chance because Spain was much better. Here, England was the situation differently. They could have won. So they should be more disappointed than the French team yesterday.
No, I just wanted to say well done, England, because the way it started, it didn't look it was going to be like this. Bellingham was outstanding. Ken was outstanding. I mean, we can name those two because they were more the guys that scoring the goals. Gordon scored tonight. But I would say that, it looks bright for you guys, and it will happen eventually. So well done, England, seriously, because it didn't look like it was going to be that way. I didn't doubt it, but a lot of people were doubting it. You still didn't make the final, but carry on going.